Hey guys.
Hey guys, welcome back to another yet again episode of your favorite podcast, Tea Time, with your hosts.
Who are they?
You know,
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while.
we haven't done that.
Who are your hosts?
I mean, fresh on the brain is Alex Jones. I'm your host, Alex Jones.
And you know her, you love her, Ann Coulter.
All right.
And
Great.
that's who it is. That's who it
Good
isn't.
choices.
Now,
Yeah,
so
no.
we're off to a start today.
We're off to the races. First off, we need to address something pretty
Please, this
serious.
is important. This is very important.
This is very important because, as y'all know, like, we love listener feedback.
We love this, and for those of you who are, well, you know, our real listeners, the real dedicated
The
Tea
true
Time,
honks.
the true honks, you know what's going on. So when this is read to you, you guys
will know what it is, and you'll also know what it isn't. So, anyways,
yeah, please.
Someone wrote us a charming message that said, "Jesus Christ, with Lee's stories. God damn, I love Lee, but fuck, I'm halfway through the Gary and Vegas story, and I can't make a comp of Lee's most dull stories, aka every one of his stories. Love y'all so much." And then 4 cowboy emojis. Now, here's the thing.
Fuck all the way off.
Do you think that they're even talking about the episode where you cried on Patreon about
No.
ODing?
A, no. B, fuck all the way
Imagine.
off. C, you shut down immediately. Like I have to set up my stories begging you to listen, and then you shut down immediately, and then I have to beg. I have to crawl up in. I have to beg for a hug. I have to I'm heckled.
Hey, honk, look at me. Honk, look at me.
Yeah.
Well, can I say something?
What am I doing? What am I doing
I'm
right
gonna be
now?
so
I'm
for real.
heckled. I'm heckled by your facial expressions.
What am I doing right now?
Well, you're falling asleep, and I'm going to be so honest. So Lee just started talking, and I just instinctively just got on my phone.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even I don't even know what he just said. I just heard, "I have to beg," and then the
he
rest.
started begging. He said something about hugs, and you know what started playing in my brain?
Wait.
It was the Curb Your Enthusiasm song.
Oh.
But
But you want to know what? I just had a great idea.
What?
We actually should make a compilation of all of Lee's stories because we can use it as white noise to fall asleep to.
Not a bad idea.
I know.
That's a different podcast.
That's a different podcast.
What's the other podcast? What would it be?
It's called Nap Time with Lee.
Yeah.
And he goes, this one time,
I
my
went to a
buddy and
Grateful
I.
Dead concert, and
So there's Henry, Garrick, and Duncan, and
so
it was in the
East
middle of the
Coast.
woods. It was snowing. Well, actually, it was the middle of a Best Buy. I don't know why I said the woods.
We're all on heroin.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I have a story. I'll make it quick. I promise.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. I have a story. I'll make it quick.
Today, earlier, before we started shooting, Lee was trying to tell us something, and he goes, and Harper goes, "What? Just what? What? You were trying to tell us something.
And then
What is it?"
Lee came over to our apartment yesterday. Okay, not you shoving that bagel. You need to boof it. But he comes over to our apartment yesterday and was dropping off shelves and my little B-Day present because I am 30. And you started telling a story too, and you started doing the same thing. You were like, and I was like, what? Just say it.
My brain stops working sometimes.
I know it does.
How's
but
your little
sometimes
bagel?
when I do that, I'm not even being rude. I'm just trying to recenter you. But sometimes it works.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because I got him back on track.
It's the ADD. I have a thought and then I have 10 more and I forget where I started because I'm already at the finish line. And so I forget how to
Are you with us?
start it. Okay,
We almost lost her. We almost lost her. We got to be really careful with our honk.
So when I edit this,
Oh.
I regret speaking every single time. So I'm not going to speak anymore.
Interesting.
Okay, well, Lee, don't cuck to the person. Learn how to just take it. Like a real woman.
Yeah, and that's true. I don't know why they tell everybody to man up. Guess what, men? Y'all are fucking pussies.
Yeah, you can't take anything.
Isn't that? Hey, this is a buzz. This is a buzz one. Why is it man up? No, fucking don't man up, dude. Men are fucking baby back bitches. Women, fucking woman up, dude. We have to put up with so much. Why aren't we fucking...
We cry into pillows while we take it and we don't stop.
Don't make us talk about what it means to be a woman again.
No,
because we all know what it is.
Y'all can go back to episode 37 where we say it means like, okay.
Is that the actual episode?
No, I just pulled that out of my fucking
Now
pussy,
here's
but-
what else is going on.
Well, you just got your hair cut and you say you look like Lord Farquaad.
Yeah, I've got it
but I
all
disagree.
tucked up. It's a little too short, but we had a lot of dead ends. She had to even out the color and cut off the dead ends. So I'm back to having fucking short hair. I'm so sick of having fucking short hair.
But your hair grows so fast, it'll grow back.
Yeah, I do miss the highlights. Anyway,
Well, I have some really great news that I can't stop telling literally everyone about. So sorry to brag. Lee's texting because he said, if you're not listening to my story, I'm not gonna listen to yours, and that's true.
I know. No, he's on a Reddit thread right now of Grateful Dead.
Yeah,
people
he
of
honestly
deadheads.
is. He's how to survive the frozen tundra of Michigan while being on heroin, and that's honestly his favorite Reddit thread. But so something fun happened. So I was up for 3 different jobs. One was a writing job, one was an acting thing, and the other was like a YouTube. It was for a YouTube show to do voiceover, and I was getting like really good vibes, and had ins to all 3 of these, and then I didn't get any of them, and that was kind of fun.
Good,
So then I, took Honk's lead, and I was like, okay, well, let me just try and be a fucking egg donor. Whatever, like I'll fucking do it because I didn't want to, but then I was like, I'll fucking do it. So I reached out. I didn't go through your company. I went through some other company, and I got an email today that said, "Dear Harper-Rose, my name is doesn't matter, but with Same Love Surrogacy. I'm emailing you today in regards to your egg donor application you submitted." And they said basically because I'm over the age of 29, triggered, I can't do it.
She's
and they
barely
said
30.
Because your parents are alcoholics, we're going to have to say no. And I said, how did you even fucking know that?
I'm screaming because not only am I in the process of doing this, my mom is an alcoholic. I have 2 DUIs. They told me to get off of medication because it shows that I have severe mental disorders.
Yeah.
I got off medication.
And then you got off it.
And then they're still like, all right.
Well, I need to go through yours because this one said we only want like the young.
Well, because you're not supposed to be over 30. I think the only reason I'm in still is because I started the application when I was 28.
Oh.
So I got in and then they got me a match. I don't fucking know. But they also did an egg count on me and said that I have like so many eggs. So
That's true. I forgot about that. Didn't you say your doctor fist bumped you or was that just a bit?
No, he actually did. Also, you do have epilepsy, which would probably fuck them up too.
That's true.
They really take into consideration.
No one wants
those
my
things.
fucking scrambled eggs.
I know nobody wants your scrambled eggs.
So I guess it's back to fucking the bullshit fucking grind of this town.
I know it.
1 minute you're up, the next minute your scrambled old eggs are getting sent out to the fucking
old
street.
Eggs. I know.
Bags packed.
Meanwhile, mine are fucking cruising on their way to Canada. I mean, they're still in me, but
they're about to get fucking jet set.
Hey, if
so
everything
you're not
goes
allowed
well
in Canada because of DUIs.
But my babies.
But your babies are.
My DNA, my genetic, and guess what? My baby's gonna be rich because that
Mama,
family.
we made it.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're gonna be rich up there in Canada.
It's on Loophole.
It is on Loophole,
and that is on Loophole.
And
very
they can
much.
send me letters back from wherever they are.
Tundra.
Yeah, the tundra.
I love that.
God, good for them. I'm excited for my.
I'm obsessed.
For those eggs.
I don't know why you're laughing in our faces.
I like scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs was funny.
Yeah, my fucking scrambled eggs.
What else? What do we got going on? I don't fucking know. I guess we'll get. This week's topic. We got death. Thought that'd be a good one. A little lighthearted.
Yeah, let's hope you like it more than the Vegas one. Triggered.
Don't get me started on the Vegas one. That one was pulling fucking teeth for me. Wild topic for this week. My mom's best friend died 4 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was basically like, this woman was a really big part of my life, huge part of my life. I was in Texas Friday night and my mom calls me, like immediately when you can tell, like, there's like, my mom's just like,
something's off.
and I was like, Gabby. And I was like, what the fuck happened? And she's like, I don't know how to tell you this, but Annette died. And Annette is my mom's best friend since like middle school. And Annette, it's surreal talking about it. Her funeral's on Thursday. Multimillionaire. I mean, probably pushing billionaire. Like insane money.
What did she do?
Her husband was a like lead engineer, computer engineer, like Microsoft, and he like created a software that some shit like that, some like insane weird fucking money engineering, whatever shit. And he started making like millions of dollars. Like since I had been alive, Annette had been a multimillionaire, and it just like grew and grew and grew. And they lived in Malibu. She has a son, Nick, who's our age. I think he's like 28. So far younger actually than any of us.
Well, closer to my age though than yours.
So Nick is very young and young.
Yeah, like kind of close to my age, but like not definitely not Lee, like definitely not, and then like very much like not you.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah,
more money than any of us now. But
And that
anyway,
is true.
so Annette was my mom's best friend forever. She married this guy, Errol. Errol passed away a year ago of cancer, but it was like, everybody was like, okay, it's cancer, so you're not caught off guard. Still terribly sad, but I mean, like, you have
it's not the sneaky one.
It's not the sneaky one. So, he dies. All of this money. There's so much money. God damn, there's so much fucking money. I can't. Anyway, they built this insane house. They have so many homes. She's this insane home in Malibu. Oh my God. It's a fucking insane. It's a beautiful mansion. It's like the most beautiful house I've ever been in. And the other night, she died, and my mom called me, and I was like, she's like, Annette died. I was like, how the what? Like, how the what?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was I guess her and her son had dinner in Malibu, and her son, like, you followed her home to make sure that she got home okay. And in the morning, her cameras at her home caught it. Her car rolled backwards with her in it, and she jumped out and hit her head and died. And the next day, the housekeeper found her laying in front of the car.
Oh my God.
Out of fucking nowhere. Out of fucking nowhere. Nick is her only son, so now Nick has like no parents, all of his money. Like,
yeah. That's so fucking hideous.
It's hideous. It's so sad. It's terribly sad. So we have to go to the funeral Thursday, but it just was like,
excuse me,
the fuck out of nowhere. And my mom had just like spoken to her a couple days prior and was like, what are you going to do? Like, you got to start writing like a will or something. And then I was like, it's fine. I don't need to yet. So it's just like,
everything will go to her son.
Everything will go to the son. Yeah. But it's just like,
that's crazy.
Crazy. Freak fucking accident.
I'm sure she would want everything to go to the son anyway, but
yeah, she was one of those women, like, she donated so much money. I mean, she took care of everybody in her life. Dude, I just can't imagine, like, he's so young. He has no parents now, and he has more money than like anybody. Like, what the fuck kind of bizarre place that would be.
How is he? Does he seem like he has a good head on his shoulders?
I haven't seen him in a couple of years. I'll see him Thursday. Yes, I think he is. I mean, he's as good as like, I guess it's actually not saying much, as good as like a very rich kid can be who grew up in Malibu.
I mean, he wasn't like living at home.
Well, he lived, so the home that he grew up in, he was living in.
I guess not that that's bad. I guess if you have like
if you have
in Malibu
with 17 fucking rooms and its own separate house.
Yeah.
So they had two homes in Malibu, the one that they had just built, and there's the house that Nick was raised in, which is also in Malibu. They're like up the street from each other. So when his parents built the big house, not that the other one isn't big, the other one's massive, but the bigger house, he moved into the house that he grew up in, and him and his friends live there now.
Oh, okay.
So he's living in his like childhood home.
A good deal.
Yeah. So it's
I'm sure he has lawyers and money managers and
Can you just imagine they're like trying to also like mourn the death of, he's like still not over it. His dad just died. And then for his mother to die suddenly.
No, that's so hideous.
So fucking sad. She also, I mean, I don't know if it's like disrespectful to talk about this, but like it's making me think like she had a lot of death in her life. Like her brother died when she was young of cancer. Her dad died when she was young. Her mom died a couple of years ago. Her husband died. She had a baby that died at birth. Oh. Like her son Nick almost died at birth. Like it's just so much tragedy surrounding.
You hear of this in families that have a lot of wealth. In families that have a lot of wealth, they have like they're surrounded by tragedy.
It's so crazy. Like the death in her life started happening before she even had money.
Really?
Yeah. because her husband didn't have money when they got married.
Really?
He came into it after this Microsoft shit took off. She wasn't really raised with a lot of money either. But then it's just like tragic. It's just cursed.
Yeah.
Fate.
Jesus, that's a dark ass fate. But
say it ain't so. Fuck, dude. Yeah, I don't know. That was just what a wild thing that had happened this week.
Yeah, and that was like 4 days ago?
Yeah, Friday.
Jesus.
We have to go to the funeral Thursday, and they're having a thing at her house, and I'm like,
What kind of car was it?
I think it was a Range Rover.
Okay, so a few years
Something
back,
like that.
a lot of people were dying. It wasn't. I'll have to. I don't want to say something that's not true, but like a few years back, maybe like 15 years ago, they had to do a massive recall on Jeeps because that actor Anton.
Who got that freak fucking accident.
Yes, he died. God, he was an incredible actor, but he died
Loved
because
him.
the car rolled over him as well. And then this was happening to a bunch of other people, and so they had to do a whole entire recall on this type of Jeep.
Yeah.
Because like there was something wrong with the brakes.
Yeah.
So awful.
Some shit like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's also, God, dude, we're gonna go to the house. Like, she just got like,
It's very eerie.
it's very eerie.
Yeah, I feel like this too. Like when you go to like estate sales too.
Right. Like, what are you gonna do with that fucking house? Like, would he keep it? It's such an insane house.
Are you gonna ask
dude.
if you can move in?
Yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
scared. Not scared. Has a movie theater in it. Not scared.
Okay.
Movie theater.
Of what to ask with the ghost? Or of Nick? Or of the drive from Malibu to here? What are you not scared of?
Scared.
Yeah. All of it. Not
Wow.
scared of any of it.
And I think that's like kind of like the main takeaway is like your bravery.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Could say I'm pretty brave.
Yeah.
So that's on death. So that's on death this week.
That's on the death this week. I didn't have a death this week. Sorry guys. But let's see. My uncle killed himself the day that the pandemic happened. Or sorry, that was the day before the world shut down. He hung himself, and don't worry, his 2 daughters were in the next room.
Good.
And he talked them through his entire suicide, and he was letting them know. He's like, "All right, the rope's going over the fan."
Why did they?
All right.
What were they doing?
Yeah, the door was locked. One of my cousins is special needs, and then I think the other one was just shut down, and then like couldn't get into the room because he had locked the door.
They called 911. Was
Yeah, and then they called my aunt, and then she like rushed home. Everyone came home, and he had done the thing.
I'm sorry. He walked his daughters through him committing suicide, and they were just like chilling.
And that's something I just found out this past like just like a few months ago. I didn't know that, but yeah,
Dude.
and that was in March of 2020. And then let's see, I've had I feel like one suicide is enough in a family, but I've had. So he committed suicide. My aunt he was my uncle by marriage, but my aunt by blood, she committed suicide when I was in 4th grade or something. It was very sad. And that was my mom's like favorite sister. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I just did. And it was very, very hard and sad. But then the thing that is bizarre is that there's people that like I haven't met. Well, obviously because they killed themselves, but there's like I think there's like 5 people in my family that have chosen to exit.
Scootily dude out.
Yeah, they've hit the bebop on the ones and
that
twos.
is so
very and on my mom and dad's side, so it's like from both. So whenever I get the little dark thoughts, I just go, you know what? I'm not going to blame myself. It's in my blood.
It's in your blood.
It's in my blood. It's coursing through.
It is. Death is coursing through. And you think that, wow, at the end of the day, couldn't you say that death is truly coursing through all of our blood? Because we're all going.
Yeah.
And we're all going to go.
There's no other way.
Pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's pretty
That is
fucking
pretty
crazy.
that like there's no way out of this life except for death.
Well, there's only one. There is a way out, and it's death.
Well, that's kind of exactly what I just said.
Well, no, it's not. You said there's only.
No, because it's giving helmet time with Gab. Well, actually, it's just
so there's only one way out.
Hammy time with Gabby.
Yeah.
Glabby glam.
Okay.
Gabby
so,
Glabby glams. Glabby.
so there's one way out. It's death.
What if
We all
this
know
was
it.
Lee telling us that, I don't know, like our most serious episode, he relapsed on acid and it just started hitting?
I'm having a stroke.
Yeah.
Glab glams.
But like, we're
Okay.
so heartless. We would just be like, oh, a little stroke. Ew. Wait, do you smell toast when you have a stroke or is that a heart
Yeah,
attack?
it's toast.
That's toast.
It's toast. It's strokey.
I smell bagels because I'm Jewish.
Okay.
Speaking of suicide.
Save
but
it,
here's the
save it for
thing.
the stage, sweetie.
Honey.
It was funny and you fucking know it.
Yeah, you fucking know
Ah.
it.
Hey guys, guess what? We've got some real good ad content here for you. Today we are brought to you by the very own Awkward Essentials. Huh, honk?
Yeah, that's right. So if your man's taking a hot, big ol' steamer, well, actually, I think that means poop. So if your man's actually just unloading his white load into you, you're going to want to take one of these drip sticks and give it a little swirly woo and get it out of you.
Yeah, today we're talking about the drip stick, which also, look, you can kind of use it to fucking...
Look at how well, oh shit, look at how
this.
well it's blotting up our oil.
Dude, honestly, this is not bad.
No, honestly, this is great. So not only can it blot up the oil, it
at
blots
that.
up the cum.
Yeah, it does. You
This
put
is
these-
great.
I honestly am into this.
Oh
so you
my
put
God.
this shit up your pussy and it soaks up the cum.
And it feels great on your face, so it's going to feel great on your vaginal walls.
Dude, this is, look, it's like totally wiping away my oil. God, this
And
is
you
great
want to know
for
why
this.
it is? It's because it's a soft medical grade sponge designed to absorb excess cum / makeup, I guess, after sex. Makes the experience more enjoyable. For who? That's right, Sister Queen, for you.
Whoa, guess what? It's super easy to use. You just insert it. You see this little part? You insert it into your punani.
A little pussy.
And you gently twist it around a few times after you've been fucking splooged in, dude.
Yeah.
So we're talking, you've got cum running down in your, all up inside you.
We're talking about your man didn't jerk off for a few days, so he saved up a big tum-tum.
big juicy load.
And
it's
he just-
sitting inside of you.
Yeah, and you
he's-
know how it starts to kind of be a little stinky after a hot sex, so you're gonna want to just run to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Or depending on how close you guys are, well, no, you should be peeing after sex, so ladies, don't be lazy.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you're gonna want to get out one of these fun little guys and stick this plunger up your pussy, give it a swirly woo, and then all the cum will come out with you. And it'll be great.
Cute. I love it. Also, it's only meant for vaginal sex. It's not for your butthole.
No, this isn't for bussies, so sorry to my kings and raunchy queens.
Sorry
this is
for
just
our
for
anal
the
queens.
this is for the V-holes.
It's easy to use, you guys. You can keep it in your bedside drawer, in your bathroom, throw it into a bag on the go.
Or keep it in your purse because as Gab and I are demonstrating on video right now, it's great for soaking up makeup. It's like, this is kind of like a game changer.
Yo,
But,
for real, I'm not mad at this.
but no, like literally, I'm actually happy at this. But here's the thing. Visit awkwardessentials.com to get 10% off a box of drip sticks with the code TEATIME10. And our girl, Sarah Lawrence, shout out to Sarah Lawrence. We're taking UCB Improv 101. Don't worry about it. Anyways, but it's not about this. It's about this. She just bought a whole box of these.
So, Sarah, let us know how it goes.
Yeah, let us know how it goes,
I
Sister
don't let
Queen.
my man nut in me because I'm not on birth control. So
Yeah.
I'm not getting nutted in. But for those of you wild girls who are,
But even if he nuts on your face, this is honestly, it's soaking everything up. Like you guys, the proof is right here. It is just soaking everything
the proof
up.
is right here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. They come in packs of 10, 20, 69, or 100.
Literally for you cum queens. Awkward Essentials also has a ton of other great products you can use the Tea Time 10 code for. Honk, what can they use the Tea Time code for?
The mainstream, which is a disposable pee funnel to help you stand and pee when sitting isn't an option.
Which
and
Harper just tried.
I was gonna say that
You
Honk
guys-
just used it. How was it?
Okay, honestly, it was good because so
It looks.
we didn't think, I'm gonna be so fucking for real. We didn't think that it was gonna work, but I just used it in Lee's fucking bathroom.
It's weird looking. It looks like this little
Pull it out.
cardboard.
Okay,
Pull one
yeah.
out.
So literally, here's what it is.
But it really worked though.
It really fucking worked. Not messy at all.
Really?
Yes.
See, okay. Honestly, great.
This is what it looks like, you guys. It's
So
like,
it comes with a funnel and a wipe.
okay, it comes with 2 wipes, Lee. They're not
Wipes.
stingy over here at Awkward
Honk
Essentials.
tried to take a shit in it. I said, Honk, no.
Well,
it's
no,
for you
no.
to pee in.
Well,
You
here's
don't
the
poop
thing.
in that.
It's like a little ice cream cone.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a little ice cream cone for
I
your-
said, Honk, that's not a shit cone. That's a pee cone.
Yeah, sometimes I get excited and confused when I'm with my honky. But the only thing that was weird was when I was peeing in the toilet, Lee left such a big hot load. It was kind of like weird. So there was like some splitter splatter
I thought we were
flopping
done
off
with
of
that.
Lee's.
I really did think we were done with that, Lee. I hate that he is still dropping fucking fat deuces.
So what it is you put this up kind of like by your bung hole, and then you just look at.
yeah.
And do you see where the cum sponge is coming out? That's where your piss comes out.
Whoa.
Right here.
And those come in big packs as well. So when you buy those, it comes in a big bag. You take a few in your purse with you.
For the road trip girlies, the camper girlies, or just the girlies that get trapped on the 405.
So true. When you're stuck in traffic, women, you know how fucking hard it is to pee when we're stuck in traffic. So pull this out, pee into your little cup.
Yeah, this is great. I felt like a real, true king when I was peeing into this.
You felt like a man?
I felt like a man. And then you can tap back into your feminine energy and scoop the cum out of you with this dripstick at awkwardessentials.com with the code
Tea time 10.
Yum, cum sponge.
So death becomes us all.
Oh my God. My brother's friend from, I don't think it was middle school, was, he would always he lived really close to school and he would always take the bus to school. But one day he missed it and the mom was like kind of frustrated that he was taking too long to get ready. So she's like, okay, well now you have to walk to school. And then he goes out and starts walking and then a garbage truck didn't see him and it's on a really busy street and just murked this kid.
You know what's so crazy?
Isn't that so fucking awful?
It's pretty fucking awful. Two things. I have two things to say. Pretty crazy that when you die, you shit yourself. So pretty wild that.
Yeah, when you give birth.
Yeah, God, huh?
Yeah. So as life begins and as it ends,
we come out and we go out shitting. That's pretty crazy. The other thing that's pretty crazy is that like it's so scary. Death is so scary, but at the same time, it's like, okay, so I've been thinking about my mom's friend who died, and it's like it's so sad. But it's also like, well, they're just gone now. Like, they're just gone. Like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's just. So, in a weird way, it's like death is okay because it's like, what else would it be? There's nothing else for it to be. The fear, I think, is what's on the other side, which, you know, none of us know except for me because I'm literally going to heaven. But other than that, it's like.
Well, here's the thing.
But.
I love what you're saying, and I think it's really poetic, and I think that's great. But.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say you're literally going to heaven.
I'm a lot out of everybody in this room for sure.
Well, no, like because yeah, like out of everyone in this room, I would say two of them are like 100%, like 100% not, and then like one of us is
me.
Well, no,
me.
No,
for sure.
no. But no.
Pretty crazy.
No.
Pretty crazy.
No.
Pretty crazy.
No. No. You can pray to Annette and ask her like what the tea is, but. I'm pretty sure you're going to get...
Wonder where my girl's at right now. No, you know, death is a wild thing. And are we there?
I did like where you were kind of heading is like life is so much more fruitful when you're not afraid of death. Like, I feel like that's kind of where you almost got to is like...
Yeah, well, like if like, I think that's also just... If you like also just blow it up or blow it out to like just living in fear in general, it's just like, it's such a constricting way.
It's just like these moments, these freak fucking accidents like this. At one, you know, she woke up that morning. And was like, another day.
Yeah.
And it you die that night. You don't fucking.
That's just it.
That's it. And it's that fucking horrific thing of like it could happen to any of us at any moment, and it never feels like it will because you're like, yeah, but I'm alive right now. Could happen later today.
But I think
that's what's so wild is that it's so unpredictable.
You and I, though, I feel like think about death. I think every single day.
Probably, I think about death probably a lot.
And I think about it for the reason that I don't think about like, ooh, I can't wait. But I'm just like, well, on certain days maybe. But I do feel like I just like want to be so cognizant of like, because I feel like I used to be just kind of like I would have days that I wasn't grateful for, or I'd just be like, oh, this is a boring as shit day, whatever. But now I just like I really try and like enjoy like little moments, even if it is a sad day. Just like try and
that's it.
Because that truly is it.
This is all that we have.
Oh my God.
All that we have. And it's pretty fucking wild.
I used to work in a juice bar when I was like fucking like 20 years old. And this man came in one day and I was like having a pretty shit day because it was a horrific juice bar. But he comes in and I like numbly just asked him like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, it's the best day of my life. And I was like,
they always do this at fucking juice bars though. I swear to God.
No, well, just wait. I know it is. It is always at juice bars because you already know I got annoyed with it. And
yeah,
I was like, I was like, oh, that's cool. And he was like, and he goes, can I tell you why it's the best day of my life?
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, fuck off, Gab. And I go, yeah. And then he was like, because it's the only day of my life that I have. And then he was like, I don't have yesterday. I don't have today. And then I was like, oh, I actually love that. That's cool. And then he was like, yeah, like my little boy actually passed away a year ago. And ever since then, I've just been like, he's like, I went through a deep, dark depression. And then now I just am trying to, just like reclaim the positives in my life. And I was
Which
like,
you do have to do.
and I said, oh my God, why the fuck
And
are
I
you
said,
telling me this?
and I
No,
said,
I'm
oh my
just kidding,
God,
but I
why
was
do you have to
like-
come into my juice bar job where I fucking don't want to be and tell me this? Because
Yeah, it's like you want to tell him to fuck off, and then it's like, oh, okay.
But it stuck with me. That
No,
was
but
10
it's-
years
and it's
ago, and it
very
stuck
true.
with me. It was really fucking beautiful.
it's very true. It's just they always fucking do this. When you're working in a restaurant, that's the worst. When people come in and you're like, "Hi, hey, how are you?" And they're like, "I'm amazing," and you're like, "Oh."
No. But also in LA,
Every time, and you're sitting there
Well,
getting
you worked
fucking
in, like, a
paid
hippie-
peanuts, and your coworker and the fucking bus boys are back there on meth, and then you got these fucking assholes. Best day of my life. I'm so grateful. And you're like, can you suck my dick right
and you
now?
go, I love that, but your food's actually getting shit and pissed in right now.
Yeah, fucking Alfredo's back there relapsing on crystal meth. I'm fucking hungover. It's the greatest day of my life.
Oh,
Save
and everyone's
it.
either
Save
drunk or hungover
Yeah.
in restaurants, and everyone's fucking in the restaurant. Like whatever restaurant you go into, I don't give a fuck if it's a Michelin
So
star
dirty.
or it's McDonald's. Everyone's sucking and fucking in there.
Everyone's sucking and fucking. Then you don't want to be there. Customers are coming in saying that it's the greatest day of their entire lives. You want to know why it's the greatest day of your entire life? Because you're rich and you can afford to go out and
be
eat
in
this
here.
expensive food.
And you want to know who's killing themselves after work? Me and my
Guess-
entire family.
guess us.
Okay.
Fucking triple homicide.
Literally. And that's really on that.
No, so should we get into some stories? Because we've got a lot of stories. We're not going to be able to
Harper's
make it
gonna
through.
start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Hunks and Lee. When I was 18 years old, my mom passed away from bone cancer. She had cancer 3 times in her life. The
Ugh.
first time was when she was 15 and had to get her leg amputated.
Fuck.
Oh my heavens.
Isn't it 15?
Fifth fucking teen. The second time was when she was in her 30s. And the third time was when she was 43, which unfortunately she didn't survive. Jesus.
She got 3 legs.
Lee, I'm going to beat you with all 3 of those legs. After the death of my mom, things started to unravel in my life quite rapidly. I went down a pretty destructive route, partying a lot, drinking until I blacked out, taking drugs, and just getting myself into really bad situations. Such a significant loss rocked my shit in the worst way possible, and I didn't know how to navigate my thoughts and feelings during that time. My home life wasn't the best either. It was quite a tumultuous time. My dad, my sister, and I were collectively dealing with the grief in our own way. I felt so much pain, sadness, anger, and abandonment that I had lost my mom and my best friend. I neglected myself and avoided my issues for almost 10 years of my life until I had a breakdown when I was 27 years old. I knew I could no longer live my life in this despair anymore. I needed to stop partying and lean into working through my grief, and that's on working through your trauma. Grief is such a jarring and life-altering experience. I'm turning 35 this year, and I've come so far from where I was. Of course, there are still times when I get so sad about everything, but I've put a lot of work in, to heal these wounds over the years. I've learned that you never get over someone dying. You just learn to live without that person. As cliche as it sounds, life is short, and you don't know when people are going to die. These experiences we have with people we care about are fleeting moments, so make sure you tell them that you love them. Anyways, thank you for reading. I love y'all so much, and your podcast is my absolute favorite. Thank you all for that you do. Okay, I almost read her name. LOL. But that was wow.
And I feel like that's going to be the through line of all of these stories today is the reminder of that, like, it's all fleeting, and to live in a constant state of gratitude and telling people that you love them, because we get so fucking caught up in ourselves. And
Right.
it's so difficult to remember, though. You really because we get caught up in our own things, and I'm stressed and all of this and and this person pissed me off. And it's like, what does any of it actually fucking matter?
Mm-hmm.
In one instant, everything.
This is also, I think, going back to our forgiveness episode, this is also, I think, forgiveness is so important too, because
Mhm.
these things time is your most important commodity as a human, I think. And how you spend it says a lot about you and the way and your quality of life.
Yeah.
And that's why I think holding grudges, it really ultimately doesn't serve you. And not saying you need to befriend everyone and be Christ-like, because that's, I feel unrealistic. However, it's just I think it's just releasing pain and just trying to make sure you have good interactions and
Yeah.
not being shit to people.
Because you really think about it, if you were if we were really to put ourselves in a place of what if I found out tomorrow that I had terminal cancer? How would you really start to live the rest of your days? Like, would you be living in a state of like fear and anger and, resentment? Like, is that how you would want to spend
No.
the last few months of your life? Or would you want to just, be as present and as kind as possible?
Right.
Because when my ex died, that was such a wild one too, because that happened out of nowhere. And I remember he texted me, a few hours before he had died, and I got his text and I was like, I'll fucking write him back in the morning. And then he died.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a weird.
Because wasn't he texting and driving?
He wasn't texting and
Oh, okay.
driving, but he was drunk driving.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
He was speeding home and he hit a pole and his car flipped. And it was just, it's like one of those things that just nothing can prepare you for it.
Mm-hmm.
But once you're gone, you're just gone.
Yeah.
So I had a friend that died in a workplace accident.
What happened?
He was, so I think he, fuck off. I'm trying to gather my thoughts.
Okay. Wait,
Yeah.
Lee.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
take a breath and think about it.
So I'm not sure exactly what they were doing, but they were on a construction site, and I think they were building like a sewer system for this like big warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the above ground, and they were leaving the site to prep for the below ground people to come on.
Okay.
And he was like, went to just like cover this manhole, and somebody came on with like a front end loader and crushed him
Nope.
accidentally because they didn't know he was
Nope.
there
Oh.
with this front end loader.
Nope.
And literally, like, I went to his funeral, and he like, his legs weren't there, so his coffin was like, and he was like,
They did an open casket.
He was 6'3", and his coffin was like 2 feet shorter.
Shut
than
the
it should have
fuck
been.
up.
Yeah.
They still did a fucking open casket. This guy had been.
His torso, like from waist up, he was fine, but just like his lower end was
Still.
crushed.
Don't put him in a fucking open. I swear to God, if y'all did me fucking dirty and put me in an open casket.
So the crazy part was that I had been trying
weird.
I had been trying to get in touch with him for months. And like he like kind of went off the radar, and like for years we weren't in touch. And then for the months before he passed away, I was trying to get in touch with him. And I know like we all had our issues, and like I know he was kind of in and out with his issues, and he was embarrassed about it, but like I was trying to get in touch with him. And I was calling his house, and I was calling his cell phone. I was calling his mom's cell phone. I was like trying to get in touch with him. And then I showed up at his house like 6 weeks before he passed, and I knocked on his door, and his dad answered. And I was like, is here? I don't know if I'll keep the name, but I was like, and his dad was like, he's asleep upstairs. And I could just see on his face that his dad was scared of him. And
Really?
I was like, just let me go up there. He's like, no. He's asleep. He'll be upset if we wake him up. I was like, it's me. He'll be fine. Like, just let me go up there. He's like, no. And he shooed me away from the door.
What was the deal?
He was using.
Oh, he was using?
Yeah. And he just, his family was scared of him. He was living at home. He was an only child. And and like I think it was like 6 weeks later he was in the accident.
Jesus.
But like for months I was trying to get in touch with him, and this was after like 2 years of not hearing from him at all. And we were like really tight all through like middle school through high school, and stayed in touch into college. I moved into Boston, and like he came and like partied with me, and like we like stayed friends, and I didn't stay friends with many people from home. And then some things happened, and he kind of like, he was very like ego and prideful, and some things happened, and he got embarrassed and kind of fell out of touch. And then I kept trying to reach out. And
at the end of the day, it's coming for us all.
Okay, Reed.
Okay.
How was that story, asshole? No.
Yeah, I don't think you needed to repeat.
I'm just kidding.
At the end, it's like, we got it. And then you kept going.
What?
I don't think.
Oh,
No,
trying to reach out, trying to
she's
reach
being
out,
really
trying to
empathetic
reach
right now.
out.
Don't worry. She's having a
No, because
well
you
of
said what happened, and it was like, oh God, that's so sad. And then you like told it again, and I was like, oh, you already told the story. We get it.
Just make sure I cover it.
You know what's funny though?
So you said what happened.
For
You said
editing,
that he
editing's
lost
sake.
his
Just make
legs,
sure.
and you
Just
said
make
it
sure
was
I
pretty
cover.
sad.
Just
No,
make sure I
and
cover
it was a fucking terrible. It was a tragic story, and then you said, yeah, and then
It was
then
a
you
very
said-
tragic story.
It's very tragic.
You make sure I get it all. You know.
No, yeah, and you did. You made sure that we got it
editing.
twice. You said it 2 times. You said it 2 full times.
Is anyone else getting kind of sleepy?
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and clip that. That's gonna go into the archives too of the Lee's stories. All right, you ready? Whew.
Not even really. Shut up.
Not even really.
All right. 4th of July suicide. Yummy.
Yum, 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 yum.
And I love this already. Howdy, honkies and long, luscious, lovable, lickable Lee. Whoa. I have a death story. My uncle committed suicide on the 4th of July almost 6 years ago.
LOL. Why?
I woke up... Patriot.
No, well, clearly not.
I woke up on the 4th of July morning, and my dad told me and my brother that my uncle had shot and killed himself early. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. It's so... The language, dude. My uncle had shot
You either
and
have
killed
autism
himself.
or incredible coping skills to just.
Yeah.
The
I'm blonde.
The opening and then
Yeah. 4th of July suicide. Yummy.
Like
My uncle had shot and killed himself early that morning. Jesus fuck, dude.
we got a wordsmith on our hands.
Yeah, we do. All I remember from that day was us driving my mom to the airport so she could visit my aunt, her sister, my uncle's wife in Alabama. I vividly remember driving over the Bay Bridge and seeing the fireworks go off in the city. A celebration, if you will. My uncle shot himself in my aunt's bathroom. He was, that is fucked.
No, see, there's certain ways to do it, and that ain't it.
He was clearly intoxicated as there was alcohol in the bedroom. Only a few hours before he killed himself, he posted a picture of his dog on Facebook and also shaved his head. Anyway, after the hazmat team came to remove my uncle's body and to remove the carpet and tile that got contaminated with blood and brain matter, my mom decided to visit. This is a decorative story. My mom decided to visit the house before my aunt came home. The hazmat motherfuckers don't deep clean the scene. They just remove the obvious hazards. So there was blood splatter all over the bathroom and all over my aunt's makeup that she had kept in the sink. My mom cleaned the whole bathroom by herself. This is so fucking traumatizing. So my aunt didn't have to come home and see it. My mom is a fucking G if you can't tell already, LOL. After 6 years, it still doesn't feel real. My brain can't grasp the fact that he's actually gone. I still believe that he's just going to appear one day and everything is going to be normal again. I haven't been the same since. When the 4th of July approaches every year, I just feel so heavy. Having to look at American flags, fireworks, and everything else red, white, and fucking blue is actual torture. I haven't had a normal 4th of July since before he passed. I got really drunk last year with my best friend, and we walked to see the fireworks. I hadn't seen them in 4 years at that point. I just sat there, drunk and sad, for about an hour until I asked to walk home. When we got to her house, I just sat on her bed in silence, waiting to be picked up. He wasn't able to see me graduate high school, or get my first car, or hired at my first big girl job, and he won't be able to see me get married and build a family. I won't do anything to get him back. I would do anything to get him back for 5 minutes. Okay, now I'm crying. Thank you for reading this. Oh, here are some pictures of my aunt and uncle for reference, and him holding me as a little wee baby. Please keep this anonymous and don't show the pictures.
Okay, girl.
You got it. I'm
Jesus.
so sorry.
That's really fucking sad.
Yeah, it's so fucking sad, dude. That's such a... God, the more that we talk about it, the more I'm thinking about like how many people we know that have died. There's our friend who fucking hung himself in the middle of the pandemic last year, a fellow comic.
Yeah, he wasn't just. I didn't know him, but I did know that y'all were.
I wasn't super. I was.
Teresa
was really close with him.
Was close with him.
I wasn't very close with him.
Yeah.
I knew him. Like we were like acquaintances, but he'd hung himself, and his fucking roommates had to go like chop him down from the tree in the backyard.
Not the fucking tree.
It's just a shit. Like, goddamn.
I mean, I can't also imagine. Oh my God. I just like, yes, that was a very colorful story, but having to go and clean up your sister's husband's blood and brain juice and scrubbing the makeup like, oh, well, we can't throw out the Charlotte Tilbury. Like, let me just clean off the
This was expensive.
Yeah.
Dude.
That is so... Also, especially having it done on like, I mean, whenever it happens, it's going to be really fucking sad. But to have it happen like on like a specific holiday, yeah, it's just pretty
fucking traumatizing.
Oh, but a little sidebar. I had just posted a screenshot of like our group chat on my Insta or whatever, and like you saw what you're in my phone as, because I have you in my phone as Grim Honk, because I always jokingly call you the Grim Reaper, because whenever someone dies, I always hear about it first from Gabby.
I always know.
Always. She's always like, "Did you hear they died?" And I'm like, "Of course, you're telling me."
God, so many people have fucking died. We had a group of comics died this year from fentanyl, from accidental. They were all just doing coke and partying, and it was like a group of like 5 comics. 4 of them died, and the girl woke up the next morning to everybody in her living room dead.
That is so fucked.
Yo, if you guys are out there doing fucking drugs, you already know, but like if you're gonna be out there doing that shit, have fucking Narcan on you and testing strips. Do not fuck around. You're not above fentanyl. This shit is everywhere.
And it's also in Molly. The doctor who, oh my God, my Botox doctor just died. And his daughter died too. So his daughter died from fentanyl. She did coke and Molly at a party, and she had like a great job, great life. She was 27, boom, just died. And then the nurse that does my Botox, she was saying that she's like, I think that he honestly just died of like a broken heart, because I was like his only kid, and like she was his whole world. And then like things just turned really bad for him after that. But he just like passed away like not too long ago.
It's so, you're here and you're fucking not. And the wildest thing to me about death too is that we carry on, like it doesn't, like we don't stop, like we're here, but like,
yeah,
a couple of days ago my mom's friend died, and like that's it, like that's it.
So it's like the finite aspect of it, but then the world keeps well.
Yes,
okay,
and the world
so
just
Kevin
keeps going.
Hart said in his, I loved this part in his book. He was talking about when his mom died, like he was raised by a single mom. He grew up with like, he comes from like fucking nothing, and then like is now almost a fucking billionaire or whatever. But as he's like on his come up, his mom passed, and he was like, I just felt so gutted. I felt like life. He's like, I couldn't conceptualize how I was still here when like my mom was, because that was like his lifeline. And then he was like, just like, in this very harrowing, deep, dark depression. And then he like woke up one morning, and he was like, I woke up and it was such a beautiful day, and the birds are chirping, the sun's out, like I can see and hear cars going on the street. He's like, and then that's when it hits me like, oh, like I have to keep going just because my mom's not here. Yeah. And I thought that was like such like a beautiful way to put it. And he was like, the world is still going to spin just because something in my life stopped. And I was just like, oh,
it's
very true.
So wild.
Not to be inappropriate. Well, let me say this. And if I find it inappropriate, then Lee, LOL, we're gonna have to do a little snippy. But when I was dating an ex of mine, he had lost both of his parents. And one of them he lost when he was very young. The other he lost just like a few years back. And I think, we didn't work out. We had our issues. But I think a big problem, or not, I'm trying to be respectful. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to him. But I think like something he was really struggling with was in the grieving process, he wasn't like moving on with his life. He was just like sitting in the pain and just like almost like kind of like stuck in it.
Yeah.
Because I don't judge him for that. I've never, no one in this room has suffered like that type of like loss, like especially being like, that's his whole family is just boom. But it is very hard to like be with someone when they are stuck.
Because I think the difficult thing about death too is that people let grief define them. And you become defined by like, well, everybody in my life has died. Well, I can't. Well, I have all this trauma because everybody that I've ever, this person that I loved is gone. Whereas, like, yeah, that's very true. And like, you have to process it. Your life still goes on, and you have to figure out a way to celebrate people you've lost without sitting in this like kind of in this like self-pity of like,
which is like So
No.
at times, of course, you're going to be like, fuck, I just fucking miss you so much, like with every fiber in my being.
There's
Totally.
There's a
But
difference between
I think like having, because grief is, it's love. So it's like, I feel like there's, and pain and whatnot, but it's like, I feel like you can let the grief like kind of like propel you through life in a sense versus consuming you.
That's what I mean by like a lot of people end up in self-pity with grief because they are making the death of the person maybe about themselves and letting it define them rather than like separating life and death.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
it's fucking wild, dude. I don't know.
We'll check this out.
Yeah, please. Go on.
I will. Okay. So I had a really bad drug problem with my drug of choice, and my drug of choice was meth. My grandma's brother had died, and I thought, maybe if I get tweaked out, I won't be emotional. When I got there, I literally thought I saw his stomach move, and I'm tripping out thinking he's alive, staring hard at his dead body. Then I had the bright idea to go get up and give a speech. I ended up telling my life story, and people started to leave. I think back on it and cringe so hard. With a throw up emoji face. I hope you sexy honks enjoyed this. LOL. Literally my favorite comedians. Love you. Your story here.
Not you tweaking at your uncle's funeral.
And not you tweaking when you wrote that. I'm obsessed. No, I'm
short and
fucking
sweet.
dead.
Short and sweet.
We love a shorty and a sweetie.
Wow. That was something else.
Hi, Honks and Lee. I've been lucky so far and haven't had to deal with much death. Well, thank you for writing in.
That was it?
No, there's more.
Nope. All right.
But it was a fun way to start it.
It was.
Much stuff in my life, but this prompt got me thinking about the time my horrible grandma died.
Oh,
okay.
Ooh.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. She was an awful woman, a terrible mother, and abused her kids. Because ladies can be monsters too. The only memories I have of her from my childhood involves her being a bitch to all of us kids, except for one of my cousins who was her favorite. My siblings and I have a hunch that she molested him growing up. Cool. Okay. That's
okay.
Yeah. Yum yum.
A tortured woman.
Yes. But we've never gotten confirmation. Anyway, this woman would not die. She moved into my parents' house when I was 15, and I think we all thought she'd die in a few years because she had dementia. I don't know how to say this word. Emphysema. I've never heard that word in my life. What's that?
It's a lung thing.
Yeah, it's
emphysema.
Like it's a lung disease that you get from like smoking. Emphysema is a lung issue. I believe the symptoms are like you can't breathe out used air. So like you can breathe in air, but you can't breathe out used air.
The fuck
so
does that mean? What is used air?
You're stuck with like you can't breathe out the CO2. So
isn't
like,
used air everything? Like, aren't you every breath that you take in, you're also breathing that air out? Wouldn't it make it all used air?
So like you breathe in oxygen,
Mm-hmm.
and then your body turns oxygen into CO2, and then you're stuck with that CO2.
Uh-oh, we're losing her.
So then you're stuck with the used air in your lungs.
Okay, you guys, that was the science portion of tea time. You're welcome.
I don't know. That's what I got from somebody. This old man that I used to smoke weed with that had emphysema told me that.
And you had emphysema. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't need to hear about your witching hours. Okay. And a bunch of other health issues.
You've got some stories there.
Okay. Instead, she lasted for almost 15 more years. She would get out of the house, and the neighbors, kind of like the length of one of Lee's stories. She would get out of the house and tell the neighbors that my parents were holding her hostage.
Oh, God.
She touched people inappropriately often.
Oh, my
and
God.
one time I got up in the night to go to the kitchen, and she was pissing on the floor, Gabby. My mom always brushed off her behavior and made excuses, but I'm almost positive she knew what she was doing and enjoyed terrorizing people.
Wicked
Gabby.
woman.
I had already moved out of state by the time she died in okay, I'm sorry for laughing at that. Died in January 2020 and was ecstatic when I got the call that she was going to die. I hadn't been home in a while, and I was stoked that my job was going to give me paid bereavement leave and to go to the funeral. My sister and I got to hang out too, and we had been reminding each other to act sad around the rest of the family, even though we've been hoping for this moment for a decade. That is so fucking funny. My mom's asshole alcoholic family never helped my parents with caring for my grandma, but they were sobbing the loudest and posting nonstop on Facebook about her death for attention.
Oh my God, I bet.
Her dying, the best thing I ever did was delete Facebook. Her dying also meant not having to interact with them anymore. I may get some bad karma for saying this, and that bitch is definitely haunting me, but I'm so glad she died and that my parents have their lives and home back. Thanks for reading us. If you did, love you guys. Love you too, girl.
Yo, it really be like that sometimes with death, though. Like, there are just fucking nightmare people, and you feel bad because you're like, there's this weird thing where you're like, should I be like grieving the death of this person, but you can't find any grief inside of you, and you're kind of just like, yeah, good.
This is kind of how I felt though when my uncle, and I do feel mildly wicked for saying it, but like when my uncle took his life, I was just kind of like, okay, you're literally gross. Now,
and when you're gross, you're gross.
The things that this man has, I would get in trouble if I said them on here, but
yeah,
the things that I know,
we'll save it for Patreon.
/ suspect, the things that he's done / that like I know he's done, like I that honestly just like permitted me from not.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I love my cousins, and so I'm like sorry that they had to go through that pain of losing like their father, but I'm like, no, he was so creepy. Every time he was around, I'm like,
My grandfather, when he died, he was a nasty man. Not like, I don't think that he was like perverted in any sense. That he was just an asshole. Like he was emotionally just wreaked havoc on my mom and her siblings' lives. Just an abusive man.
I mean, some of those stories that you tell are very unhinged of him.
Yeah, Magdi was something else. And brilliant man, haunted man, probably severely mentally ill man. But when he died, I remember, I've probably talked about it on here before, but I remember I didn't know what I found out, and I kind of was like laughing, and I was like trying not to. And then I ran down to my cousins, because I was with my cousins, Jake and James. And I was like, hey guys, grandpa died. And I was trying not to laugh. And then I could see that my cousin Jake was trying not to laugh too. And he's like, oh no. And then my cousin James just bursts into tears and actually starts sobbing. And me and Jake were like,
oh my God, haunted.
So fucking haunted. And at his funeral, nobody cried except for my uncle, which is, Magdi, I'm sorry wherever you are. I hope the afterlife is, you're happier there than how you were in
IRL.
In IRL.
And that's
all right.
the tea.
And that's a tea. All right. Hey, honkeronis and sleaze. I hope the submission isn't too late. I've been to a few unhinged funerals, but my aunt takes the cake. I never thought I'd go to a funeral that would top the one where my 500-pound uncle almost tipped over the casket, kissing my grandma, and then secretly binging all the food that was for after the funeral. But somehow it happened when my aunt on my mom's side died. What the fuck?
Damn, girl.
About 4 or 5 years ago, my aunt died of COPD complications. My mom and I flew to Florida to attend her funeral, staying at my other aunts who lived in a city nearby. We had a day to just settle in before the funeral, and it was chill other than my aunt's failed service dog. She trains them. Opening the bathroom door and stealing my mom's used adult diaper to parade around. Okay, screaming. So this service dog goes in and steals your mom's diaper and then runs around with it.
Yeah.
Okay, snitch. Anyway, on the day of the funeral, we had to stop and grab refreshments, including cheap beer, because my aunt who died's friends were the definition of white Florida trash. We get to the funeral, which is at a park in the middle of the day with tons of people around, including kids, and sneak in the beer in case it wasn't allowed. This is so funny. This is so chaotic. Now, this is where it gets unhinged. As we near the tables where the funeral is being held, an old man comes up to me and says, "You must be Paula's, the aunt who died's niece." I told him, "Yes." And he just said, completely serious, "I could tell because you got them same big tits." Just laughed it off. I went to meet up with everyone else see the display table. Well, the display table was mostly normal until I saw a penguin cookie jar. Turns out instead of getting a fucking urn, because my aunt loved penguins, they just decided to put her in that.
Okay. So one more time.
Do you think they left the cookies in?
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Yeah. So instead of getting an urn, they put her dead ashes, her dead fucking body.
Yeah, her fried body. Her charred bones.
Yeah, her barbecued body.
Yeah.
In a penguin cookie jar.
Yeah. And they're at a park in the middle of the day. And right before she sees this penguin fucking cookie jar, this guy says he must be Paula's niece because he got the same old big tits.
Well,
Day
can
before
tell
this.
a lot by a woman by her tits.
And that's true. And the day before this, the service dog stole her mom's diaper.
Yeah.
So this is something straight out of it.
You know what it's giving? It's giving the book/movie Holes, where the family has a curse on them. Your family has a fucking curse.
I can't believe they put her fucking ashes in a penguin cookie jar. And you literally know that nobody cleaned out that fucking cookie jar.
Oh,
There's
of course
crumbs in there.
There's still some fucking like snickerdoodle.
Yeah, there's some like some candy wrappers, some fucking tobacco chew.
Werther's original.
Yeah. Then everyone passed a joint around in honor of my aunt, which is honestly kind of sweet, and got into the stories of my aunt. One was about how after her death, she donated her motorized chair to her friend's son who didn't have legs. This dude was literally just raw dogging no legs because the American healthcare system. Then my aunt's friend told us how my aunt got a motorized chair to begin with. Turns out, instead of whatever story my aunt gave our family, the real reason her legs stopped working is because she got high as fuck alone and passed out on top of her own legs. She was out for over a day like this with nobody knowing until one of her friends finally found her. Honestly, not surprised because my mom's family is one of those that are very intelligent and cope with it by drug abuse and alcoholism. Anyway, I love the pod and I hope Harper had a lovely birthday. Stay safe and don't die.
Okay. Number one, thank you. And number two, thank you again for sending in such an illuminating story. I mean, my fucking God. And not the 500-pound uncle.
Raw dogging no legs.
Raw dogging no legs.
I want to be this person's friend. But I'm afraid that you're going to get your bad luck on me. And I'm already...
I don't get the last part. We're passed out over the legs.
She like was so high that she like probably fell asleep in a way that her like legs cut off circulation.
And so that she lost her legs that way?
Yeah. Or it sounded like she maybe still had her legs, but they didn't work anymore.
Just like fell asleep.
I don't get that part.
That happens where people if you like fall asleep on like a side of your body, like if you cut off circulation to your arm,
like permanently lose it.
Yeah, it happens.
Really?
It happens with.
Oh,
really?
So she's saying she permanently lost. Oh.
Because I wake up and my arms are asleep, like dead, like so asleep they hurt like that all the time.
Well, it happens a lot with people who are like high on heroin or something. They pass out a certain way and then they wake up days later and they've cut off all the circulation to like a leg or an arm or something.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's some real shit. That's wild. Yeah, no, that happens. Watch out, Lee.
Hello, my lovely honks and Lidl. You are looking fresh after your time off. I hope you've had the best break from the pod and Harper had an amazing 30th. Literally did. Thank you. Love you. Recently, my uncle passed away. It's always the fucking uncles. Damn. I wasn't close with him. He didn't show up much for our family, and we haven't spoken properly in years. Even though my dad and I have said things like, after everything, I won't be sad when he dies. We, of course, did care when he died. I think a lot of the upset for me came from the circumstances around his death. He was in his 50s, had a family, and he committed suicide, resulting in him being in a coma.
God.
Oh my God. If he hadn't passed away naturally in old age, I don't think I'd have shed many tears, but the circumstances were extremely sad. Although I grieved for him as a family member, it wasn't the same kind of grief you have for someone you love. That soul-crushing realization you get in grief of, I'm never going to see them again, didn't happen. What did happen was a lot of intense waves of empathy for my aunt and my cousins, thinking of him laying in the hospital, lifeless, while they had to watch with no hope. For my dad losing his only sibling, for my grandparents who would have been so heartbroken at the idea of their son ending his life, for the memory of this side of my family, which has lost another member prematurely. What also hurts about his death is that it seems to have involved money issues. Okay, now I get that. The idea that someone would end their life over material circumstances is just so heartbreaking to me. His family have also kept his real life cause of death private. We all understand. Yeah, interesting. We all understand and respect their wishes, but it's unthinkable and unhealthy to me as a non-religious person. It adds another complicated layer to his passing. Big love for the prompt, guys. I'm sure this episode will help some listeners. XOXO. Okay, loved that.
Yeah, that was great. These fucking stories.
The family secrets are...
Death is a good subject because everybody has experience with it. And it's like the most probably one of the most uncomfortable things for anybody to have to deal with. Nobody knows how to deal with grief. It's very scary. It's very isolating.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What the fuck is this comedian's fucking name? Oh my God. He just was on Colbert. He wrote a book. He's so fucking funny on Twitter. But his son Henry died. Why can I not fucking think of his name? God damn it. We're going to fucking find him because he is incredible. But I'm so sorry, Lee. I wish I could fucking remember. He's huge on Twitter. He lives in London now. He lives in England now. He had a son named Henry that died, and he wrote this book.
How old was his son?
Rob Delaney.
Yes, Rob Delaney. Oh my God, I love Rob Delaney. I don't know why I just blanked on his goddamn name. But so he has two sons. He has his son Henry died like baby boy,
really?
3 or something, like small.
He has a really good special.
Yes, he does. Incredible. And he is, oh my God, before I started
baby
comedy,
died.
Yeah, baby died. And so he's having to console,
Horrid.
he talks about having to console his son and how his son, like his other son, like doesn't know how he's like going to get through it and whatnot. And he was like telling Stephen Colbert that he's like, and honestly, he's like, my son and I have the same coping mechanisms. Like, I also don't know how to deal with grief. He's like, because it, like, when it happens and you don't have experience with it, like, he's like, the only difference is that I'm just in a bigger body. Like, that's just all it is. And he's like, so we just get to like not know what to do together, and we can just like love each other and be sad together. Oh my God.
How did he die?
Cancer. Like he had like some,
baby.
Yeah.
That's horrific.
Oh, but y'all should go watch that interview because it was the way that he was speaking about processing his grief was so poetic, beautiful, and somehow funny.
Dude.
Lori Kilmartin also has a special about, she has one about, she's lost now both of her parents. Her mom died during COVID. But she has, I believe it's 30 minutes on the loss of her dad. And it's also like extremely, extremely good. And that's really on that.
I'm just thinking about yeah, I don't know, dude.
Damn, that's a long one.
It is a long one. Death is, it's kind of also has been the like main focus of human existence since we've existed, is the obsession with the afterlife, God, being the best in this life so we can reap the benefits in the afterlife.
What do you think happens?
Oh, fuck if I know. I can't even begin to speak on that.
What do you hope happens?
What do you hope happens?
Yeah.
Because you can begin to speak on that.
What do I hope happens?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
What do I hope happens? Fuck.
It's almost like I can hear the wheels turning.
Yeah.
Let's set it up. What do you hope happens after you die?
And you're really taking a Lee amount of time right now with this thought.
No. Because I actually do know what is going to happen.
You know for sure.
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know. Drop it on us.
She still hasn't thought of it yet.
I just don't even want to say, because I know I don't want to make you guys uncomfortable with how.
It sounds like you need to come into my UCB 101 class.
Like I said.
Wow. So I'll see you at the UCB 101.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. That was enchanting. You have an Odyssey length story to read.
I do.
We'll probably wrap it up.
No
with
disrespect
that.
to.
We'll close with this.
Okay. Yeah. And I had.
So anybody out there who has a big fat juicy fucking pussy like me, just know that you are.
Excuse me.
You're going heaven. People will miss you the most when you die. Just know that. Anybody out there that has a big fat fucking juicy pussy, you will be the most missed out of any of your friends.
That's actually really crazy, because like the thing that usually happens sad. Like when Lee talks just happened when you were talking.
You are the most valuable. Know that. If you have a big fat pussy, you are the most valuable of your friends and family.
All right.
Let's
wrap this up.
Just saying.
I'm proud of you for finally thinking of a joke, but let's get into the story.
jealous.
I might have to
Of your quick wit.
I might have to
Yes.
keep all of that.
Okay. So here we go. I see a lot of death in my job, so this prompt is perfect for me. I love what I do. I feel okay at my job for the most part. Okay, what do you do?
What if
For
it was
context,
like an amusement park
Yeah,
worker
right.
or something?
yeah, she works at a restaurant.
Yeah.
For context, I work in a hospital. I'm working as a
Okay.
critical care technician while I'm in school. Eventually, I'll be
Ooh.
an RN. But something happened that has shaken me up and has made me super angry. It made me hate men, okay, good, and frustrated that I am a young, conventionally attractive woman. It makes me furious at the general public's treatment of nursing staff. In November, I watched helplessly as a man died at an open mic.
What?
Okay.
Who the fuck wrote this?
I'm a comedian, but
She
work
writes it
in
all the
4
time.
different ICUs. Before I left work, we had just coded a patient who got out of the OR,
Okay.
the original room at the Comedy Store,
Yeah.
of the OR and was hemorrhaging. These following few details may be all Greek to you guys, but they were bleeding out rapidly.
Okay.
Okay, so this was at a hospital. This had happened. Okay. Their blood pressure was 40/30, their heart rate was 37, and they went into cardiac arrest. At best, the odds of surviving a cardiac arrest in the hospital is 20%. And afterwards, I clocked out and drove to this open mic. Still in my scrubs, casual day, in the surgical ICU. Okay.
Whoa.
I was sitting at a bar, minding my business, when 2 friends hurried me outside, saying a man was on the bus having a seizure and foaming at the mouth.
Oh.
I grabbed my shit and I ran. I carry Narcan and a portable pulse oximeter.
Okay.
Oximeter in my purse just in case I need it. A pulse ox reads someone's heart rate and the level of oxygen in their blood. Anyway, I got in there and immediately knew he wasn't having a seizure. He didn't convulse or present with any other symptoms indicative of a seizure. In the area where the venue was, there could be one of 3 things: overdose, diabetic coma, or heart attack. It was an overweight older man who had just walked on the bus 2 blocks ago before slumping over. Cross off the first 2 causes. He was unresponsive, cold, clammy, and blue. The pulse ox wasn't getting a reading. His heart wasn't beating. I put my ear to his foamy ass mouth. He wasn't
Ugh.
breathing. He was dead.
Okay.
Whoa, right after you just got off work. I have never seen a dead person. I've never seen a dead person. Have you guys?
Like out in the
Mhm.
wild.
I don't even think in real life.
I mean, I've been to funerals.
I have 2, but they were not open caskets.
Oh, I've seen 2 open caskets.
Never. Yeah. Woof.
My friend, oh my God. Yeah, I saw my friend die. Ryan. We used to work together at Kitchen 24 in West Hollywood. And he, like, big smoker, always had coffee, whatever. But then one day his stomach starts hurting and he's like, oh wow. And then it kind of progressed. And then, like, over the weekend, and then it turns out that his stomach acid started leaking into
No.
his body.
No.
And they couldn't save him. And so then we all went to the hospital to, like, see him. And then, like, literally as I walk back there to, to view him, like, he was, like, still alive. He just, like, was unconscious. He started, like, shaking, I believe. And then just, like, and then he started, like, swelling
Oh my
and
God.
then passed
Ew.
away.
That's crazy.
You think he shit
Mhm.
himself?
Probably, Honk. Probably.
I was just with Dutch when he passed.
Did he shit
I
himself?
pet him while the medicine went down.
He shit himself?
No, he didn't.
Did you come?
Did you come? That's so sad. I can't even imagine doing that. No.
It was a lot.
It's really a lot. I can't. Okay. Whew. Okay, so you put your ear to his mouth. He wasn't breathing. He's dead. I immediately told the other passengers that we needed to get this man onto the ground and start CPR while we waited for the paramedics to arrive. He was huge, and I couldn't move him alone. Only 3 other people were on the bus, all the men far older than me. They refused, saying they needed to keep his head up so he could breathe. Bitch, he ain't. Moving his ass onto the ground won't hurt his head like you all seem to think. You're not getting a weak pulse. You're feeling your own because you're using your thumb to check for one. The dude is dead, but there's a chance. The longer we wait, the longer his body is deprived of oxygen. The risk of irreversible brain damage and organ failure increases exponentially. Time is of the fucking essence. I don't know why they didn't believe me either. Was it the hot pink scrubs? The fact that I'm 25 years old? Don't look at me like I'm an idiot, because I was legit doing compressions at my job less than 2 hours before this. Okay, fucking men though, of course, being like,
Yeah.
"Me."
Well, it's probably because they were also afraid.
Yeah. I was begging them to help me move him since the foam coming out of his mouth wasn't due to a seizure. It was probably because he had a massive heart attack. When you die, your body releases gases that mix with saliva and mucus that expel from your nose and mouth. Whoa.
Okay.
I tried to move him myself despite him being 200 plus pounds of literal dead weight, just to be swatted away by people who know nothing. I felt helpless. I felt angry. I felt that my duty to serve others and the skills I use 40 hours a fucking week meant nothing to these people. Their distrust of healthcare professionals was palpable. Ooh, this is getting me fucking riled up now. I see it every day on the internet, on the clock, in the shitty middle-aged dudes' stand-up routines, and unfortunately in the people whose assistance this man needed most. I am not a hero. I have no desire ever to be considered one. I never go into code thinking about myself. I go in to help in any way I can. This isn't an episode of Grey's Anatomy. This is someone's life. A real person with a family who cares about them. They have hobbies, hopes, and dreams. After what felt like hours of begging and pleading for nothing, I just walked off the bus. I did everything I could to convince these people that I was qualified to help and that we could maybe save his life if we worked together, but it fell on deaf and unwilling ears. The paramedics came and went, and I felt sick. This man fucking died because these people didn't take me seriously due to a myriad of factors. I may be a young woman, have a collection of candy-colored scrubs, and tell gross jokes on stage for fun and the occasional paycheck, but I am not stupid. I am not jaded. I am not a bitch who doesn't give a shit about the lives that are put into my care. Do not undermine my ability or overestimate your own when someone else's life is on the line. Whew, she's fucking rage typing.
Mm-hmm.
I cried. I cried in my friend's arms. I called my mom, who has been an ER, ICU, and trauma nurse for 40 years. I cried harder than I had in a long time. And I don't typically cry at work after a failed resuscitation, attempts, but I cried because I was angry. I grieved the loss of this man. I cried because I had to go on stage and do my set. And you didn't. You could have taken the night off. Nobody needs stand-up that bad. To do my set and got made fun of by some dude I'd never met because I didn't do well. Sorry, I literally just watched a man die. But yeah, totally. I'll try harder next time. Thanks for the feedback. That's why you don't do stand-up when you're in distress. It's very different and emotionally complicated to handle emergencies at work versus out in the world. I don't know. Being a young woman is hard. Working in the ICU is hard, but very rewarding. I hope this makes sense and doesn't sound too preachy. Thank you for giving me an outlet to express this anonymously. I needed it. It doesn't sound too preachy and it does make sense. I can't imagine being in that fucking situation.
So this man clearly had like a heart attack or whatnot. And then she tries to do CPR on him and then no one would like let her.
Yeah, everybody was just like, you don't know what you're talking about.
That's so fucking annoying. And
nobody would help.
Bigger than annoying, but like that's very, very bizarre.
I wonder, and I mean, not that it matters, but I do wonder if that she was a man in Scrubs, if she would have been taken seriously. I wonder if it like there really is like subconscious or unconscious sexism playing.
Also, I wonder if like
this.
maybe if she was an older woman, they would have taken her more seriously.
Yeah. God, I was just listening to a podcast on like our unconscious biases and like how we have no idea like that we're always acting out on these unconscious biases. It's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, rough. That's all I have to say. And we have more stories in there. There was a lot. So sorry if we didn't get to yours.
We'll save them for a catch-up app, and we love to see it.
Or if you want to hear them, we also, again, read them on Patreon. So if you want to subscribe to our Patreon and hear stories there, you fucking can.
Yeah.
You get an extra hour a week. And subscribe where you listen. Follow us on Instagram. And if you like the show, tell a friend. If you've got friends with good stories, tell them to write in.
If you have a friend that's pretty depressed and might kill themselves, why don't you send them this podcast? Maybe not this episode, but another episode.
Yeah, send them this episode.
Yeah.
Say, guess what? If you don't want to be talked about on a podcast, don't kill yourself.
Yeah. Literally.
Or if you do, well, uh-oh.
Send this episode to your parents' best friend while you still can. And
whoa.
And that's been our show. The prompts come out every week on Instagram, and that's really that. Love you guys.
Bye. Love you.